Hey, this is Lotus Comic Express. I'm here with the honor. I am so excited, guys. You have no idea. I'm here with Mr. William Sadler. I've seen him in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey as the Reaper, to The Mist, to, oh my gosh, like just everything he does is absolutely phenomenal.
Just about every movie that's been made in the last 20 or 30 years.
Right? So, first I gotta ask, being at Texas Frightmare, have you had a good time this weekend?
I've had a great time.
Yes, sir.
Texas is great. I've shot a lot of movies down here, but I've never done the Texas Frightmare weekend.
Okay.
And it's been terrific. I mean, the people are great. The crowds are huge. Costumes are astonishing. There's
Right.
Kiss right over there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just the people are amazing.
You guys look
the fans.
I know. I love this. I love this. Every time I look up, there's another more amazing. Look at these outfits.
It's true, and I mean, the fans are extraordinary. You know, I mean, just walking by all weekend long, how it's been. I mean, Malcolm McDowell has been over here.
Malcolm McDowell, I know.
And
He's sitting right over there.
Hugely awesome.
If you haven't ever come to the Texas Frightmare weekend, you have to come. You got to check this out. This has been, it's just, there's nothing else like it anywhere in the country, I think.
It's true. I mean, from President Ellis telling you guys this. Seriously, you got to take this to an account here.
I mean,
you know.
Elvira is here.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Well, so getting into your films, what I'd like to ask you, sir, is when you get into the characters like the Reaper and characters like the Mist,
Right.
do you have a process that you go through to actually get into to your character?
I do. Most of the time, I think I start with the way the character sounds.
Yes, sir.
I sort of approach it. Maybe it's because I have a good ear for music. If I can hear the character's rhythms and the character's
Right.
if I can hear the character's voice, I can get lost in that voice. So, like with the Reaper, as soon as I start doing the Czechoslovakian accent, everything starts to come out like the Reaper, and the character starts to appear. So
Can you do my favorite line, boss?
What's that?
The one you actually wrote, the one that you actually wrote on Bill and Ted.
Oh, the Reaper rap?
Yeah, absolutely.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper. Get down with your bad self.
Yeah. That's amazing. So you do it by voice instead of by actual.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, everybody starts somewhere, and for me, it usually starts with a voice. It'll start with, like with Haywood in Shawshank. It was the sound of his. It was that sound that he.
Right.
Of that particular country boy, you know that. And as soon as I start doing that, the character starts to appear.
That's awesome.
And I let the physical follow. You know,
the emotional.
Follow from that.
The emotional and the sound.
Right.
That's really cool.
Like if you watch.
That's great.
If you watch when I do in Bill and Ted, you'll see me do this with my hand, because it's this gesture. I don't know where it came from, but it feels very feminine.
Yeah.
And the Reaper does it all the time. He's like. But anyway, I guess I come to it through the sounds, through the music.
That's really cool. You will sink my battleship.
You ever sunk my battleship.
I mean, that scene when you're playing the board games with Bill and Ted, I mean, it's just funny because, you know, they're just baffled. The characters are between, like, the Reaper and you. I told you the J's would work, Ted.
I tell you the funny story, that scene, the games, playing the Clue and
Twister. Yeah.
That sequence was the first shot of the first scene of the first day of filming for me on the show.
That's what you were saying. So
it was like,
how'd that go?
I was scared to death.
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I was like, my heart was going a million miles an hour because I'd never really done the character before. I mean, I did it in the auditions, but we'd never tried out the makeup. We'd never I'd never had the whole costume and the shoes and the makeup and everything in it. So the producers even were nervous. Is this going to work? Is this going to work? And we started with that scene. We started with those games. It's like right out of the box. And
it's like the best scene.
And they were funny. Yeah, it came across funny.
Seriously, it really is like one of the best scenes in the whole movie.
It worked, and it was funny. And from that moment on, the producers and the director sort of relaxed and went, good, this is going to be, this is going to work.
So as far as I've heard rumors about Bill and Ted 3. Are you actually going to be involved in the third series? The third actual part of the trilogy?
If there is a Bill and Ted 3, I would love to be involved. I've told them that. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would love that.
I would love to see you back in the third one.
I have no idea whether they're going to do it or not, but
I mean, Alex Winter seems like an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, absolutely amazing guy. He's a brilliant actor. And then having you come back in. The only question I would have is Carlin, because of Carlin.
What do you do? Because George Carlin has passed,
And Rufus was a major character.
And I think that was part of that was a big hurdle for doing number 3.
Exactly.
It's like, how do we get into it if
there's no Rufus?
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So.
And I mean, there's been theories online on how you could do that with part 3, even though that George Carlin's passed, God forbid. He was such an amazing actor, comedian. I mean, he was phenomenal.
He was very funny.
Very, very, very genius.
He was an interesting guy too. I've been writing songs my whole life, and I gave him a cassette tape. This is how long ago it was. I gave him a cassette tape of my songs, and about, I don't know, maybe a year or so before he died, not too long before he died, he called me at home. We hadn't seen each other in 15 years or 12 years or something. And he said, I get this phone call. I said, hi, it's George Carlin. Listen, how are you? You know that cassette you gave me?
Right.
I wore it out. I played it so much I wore it out. I wonder if you could send me another one.
Really?
I was like, really?
That's awesome.
I was so honored. It was like, wow. I had no idea.
What was he like in real person, as far as that goes? I mean, just working with him on Bill and Ted and stuff like that.
George Carlin was. It's interesting when you get a chance to be off screen, off stage with somebody like him. He's still funny. He's thoughtful and he's quiet.
Sir.
It's just a different energy. He's very nice, very, very smart. Fun to be with.
Yes, sir.
But not, it's not like a million laughs. He's not, because he's not on.
Right.
He's not doing his
shtick.
His thing, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was just.
He's just being who he is.
He's just enjoying this now, which is great.
So I was going to ask you, doing Die Hard 2 as Colonel Stewart from Die Hard 2, the villain.
Yeah.
Was that did you integrate any of the Reaper into maybe Bill and Ted or vice versa to any of those two roles? Because they had very uniquely kind of similar accents in that sense.
Well,
the Reaper had more of like a Slavian kind of accent.
The Reaper's accent is Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, Czech. And then you had more, with Colonel Stewart, it was more kind of Germanesque.
Colonel Stewart was from America. He was.
Well, he had. That's what I mean. I'm very bad on languages. It's not my forte at all.
No, that's all right.
But they had, like, if you're listening to it, very similar kind of twang to it. You know what I mean?
Now Stewart doesn't talk enough to get the music. I mean, he doesn't have a unique enough music to.
Right.
I think I got into him.
He was an amazing character, though.
But that's sort of single-minded.
That's true. Yeah.
Cold-blooded, single-minded.
And the Reaper was the opposite. He was very
menacing human. Yeah, it was a very different energy.
It was a very light kind of character.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I like the Reaper. He's a likable guy. If you were to like just walk up and want to meet him, you
Well,
know.
I think that was the fun of doing the Reaper. Was he starts out as this, you must play, you know, you must challenge me to a game or something.
You must challenge me to a duel.
He's supposed to be scary at the beginning, and then very quickly it all kind of falls apart, and he's an idiot. And so,
He was my favorite, man. Out of all your characters, you nailed it, man. I mean, you really did. So for the new generation of people that are coming into film and really getting into, I mean, you know, personally, a lot of the just different film genres that they're wanting to do, whether it's horror, sci-fi, any of that stuff, just the film students in general.
Right.
Would you have any advice to offer them?
I guess
Lead
find
them on their way, you know.
I mean, the only advice I think I would give them is find your own voice.
Yes, sir.
Find your own, make your own music, make your own movie, you know, tell your story, the one that you know how this story goes.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, as opposed to trying to be like Kubrick or trying to be like Spielberg or trying to be like somebody else.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really exciting about the digital world is now it's so much easier for young filmmakers to get their hands on a camera and put some people together, and you know, they can write it, they can edit it, they can put effects, they can, you know, and it just never used to be the case. It was you did this stuff in studios or you didn't do it at all.
That's true.
And
that's very true.
And now it's like everybody can do it in their bedroom practically.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, it's
or their
finally a
mom's bedroom.
possibility to actually get some more ideas visually out there.
But I think,
you know,
I mean, as one door closes, another one opens. So it's
That's
like
true.
if it's not because it's so much more democratic now, because everybody can do it, or more people can do it. I think there's more opportunity. I mean, there are more songs coming. So
yeah, I would agree with you.
I'm
personally.
jazzed by it.
But I mean, bigger doors are now eventually starting to open, and there's more technology to be able to back it.
Right.
I think. And I mean, I think that's what you're trying to say, and I agree with you if that's what you're trying to say.
That is.
Absolutely. Well,
listen, I
wanted to tell you, thank you very much for being on the show. I know you didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And guys, check out his work. Is there a website we can go to actually just support your work and what you do?
Facebook.
Facebook?
Maybe you've heard of it.
All right. Well, you heard it here first from Mr. Sadler himself.
There you go.
This is LotusComics.com, and we'll see you here next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.